What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and as you all know, quote-unquote influencers are basically everything that's wrong with this planet. They glom on to whatever trend seems to be getting clicks or views at the exact moment, and they don't really have any kind of regard for their own viewers' health and safety, or for whether or not something is truthful. In the very same week where TikTokers are getting absolutely blasted, including our embarrassing White House for bringing them to the White House to basically have them go spread their propaganda, now fitness influencers are, I don't know, having fish tank cleaner, and they're coloring their tongues blue. And they're saying that there are health benefits to it and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, look, I'm not getting into the conversation about, oh, well, you could have a small dose of this or that or this. I'm not a health expert, and you probably aren't either. Some people believe that like small doses of this have some benefits. That's not the point. The point is these influencers aren't doctors, and they're having their followers. Look at this. Irresponsible. Doctors blast young influencers with blue tongues, pushing followers enjoy fish tank cleaner. Now, that's basically the right's horse paste. We're going to get into that because it's not really fish tank. I mean, we'll get to it. Young, quote, influencers are coloring their tongues blue as they inform their audiences of the benefits of methylene blue, which is often used to clean fish tanks. In response, some doctors are either issuing warnings that doing this imperils one's health or mocking the idea of ingesting it. You can't really mock it because that's just adding more fuel to it. The New York Post reports Washington-based podcaster Ben Greenfield, American endurance runner, Jordan Hassey, and makeup artist Luba Cohen have all extolled the virtues of enjoying it. Greenfield told his audience that methylene blue was one of his, quote, favorite nootropics due to its wide-ranging benefits that include enhanced mitochondrial function, provides neuroprotective effects against brain inflammation, increased memory and cognitive function, and enhances the effects of light and oxygen therapies. Oh, and much more. He wrote, it can help improve focus, endurance, and sleep. I like using it. I like using these people's, he links the makers, Just Blue product before my hard workouts. Check out, again, them for more information. You can use my promo code for a discount. Now, if you don't know what methylene blue is, it is a thiazine dye. It works by converting ferric acid in the hemoglobin to ferrous iron. As a medication, it is mainly used to treat methemoglobinemia. Specifically, it's used to treat methemoglobin levels that are greater than 30% or in which their symptoms despite oxygen therapy. It's a very specific thing. Now, again, according to Google, it says it's safe when it's in therapeutic doses. I don't know. Okay. It's an electron carrier, which allows it to function against all sorts of stuff. Again, I'm not here to say whether or not it's good or bad. It can treat a condition where blood doesn't carry oxygen properly. The condition is usually caused due to an exposure to a drug or chemical. This is like saying I take penicillin all the time because it also fights bacteria or something like that, infections. My point is that it's extremely irresponsible for influencers to be basically telling people to go buy this stuff and ingest this stuff because somebody's going to take more than they should, or they're going to have an allergic reaction because they didn't consult their doctors, and someone's going to get really sick. Cohen echoed, MB has been very important for me while recovering from being sick. There are a few brands on the market, but my absolute favorite is this company, which I'm assuming is paying these people. It comes in a small lozenge. You place it between your cheek, gums, and let it dissolve. But Australian doctor Darren Saunders tweeted, I've discovered the trend of fitness influencers sticking methylene blue on their tongues as a, quote, metabolic or cognitive enhancer, and I can't stop laughing. Also, of course, it, quote, slows down your chain of aging, whatever the heck that is. He added, I remember a fellow grad student who accidentally smashed a bottle of this stuff in a lab one night. Worst mess I've ever seen. Her mouth, eyes, etc. went blue for months afterwards. Everything would start to turn blue every time the benches got wet, and she would sweat out blue. A Canadian physician wrote, hello there, Canadian physician here. Did you just tell your 500,000 followers that methylene blue can be used to fight the coof? The study behind you is a preclinical lab study, and it needs to be tested in humans first to even prove that works. It can cause the destruction of red blood cells in people, and with G6PD deficiency, causing potential life-threatening hemolysis. I don't know. It has an FDA warning because it interacts with people with antidepressants to cause something called serotonin syndrome, which means it's potentially fatal as well. Not to mention it can discolor your skin and bodily fluids. I would also like to point out it's irresponsible for a non-medical professional to post that stuff on social media that can lead to real harm. My other things that can interact dangerously with methylene blue are, well, I'm not going to read all this stuff because it'll probably just make me look stupid because I'll mispronounce all of it. The point is, like, look, we've seen this with the horse paste stuff, right? Maybe it's good, maybe it isn't. I don't know. All right. But to have influencers out here doing this stuff is actually insane. It can be injected or consumed orally, is prescribed by physicians to treat a very specific thing. A condition where blood cannot deliver oxygen to different parts of the body. However, while it isn't harmful for most humans to consume in therapeutic doses, some experts are trashing claims from influencers that the dye helps enhance cognitive abilities, boost metabolism, and fight aging. Like, no. Here's the thing. Are you familiar with the term panacea? You know, are you familiar with, you know, all these various things that have been marketed as a cure-all, and that you should just buy their supplements because it just does everything for you? If you believe that, you're their target customer. Now, I'm not saying all supplements are bad. Clearly, there are some that are good. But when they are getting marketed as this, like, miracle type thing that they can just, you know, that you can, that fights aging and makes you smarter and makes you, what? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. These people really don't have any real way, any real statistical or actual hard data that says it fights any of this stuff. Now, these are the same idiots that went to the White House. You see this TikTok star Ellie Zeiler faces backlash after White House briefing on gas prices. TikTok star boasts over 10 million followers on the platform, mostly for her dancing and lip syncing content. I don't know why anybody watches that stuff. And an uncanny resemblance to Charlie D'Amelio, has only turned just 18. But along with other influencers, she was chosen as one of the big TikTokers by the White House who were briefed on the Ukraine invasion. In her video, she breaks down inflation and supply chain demands, as well as how Russia's role in the global gas supply has been impacted. She concludes with a call to action for her followers to donate money. Despite being less than a minute long, the video sparked massive controversy, both in her own comment section and wider social media. People getting their political information from here is exactly why our world is so messed up right now. Another posted, saying exactly what the government tells you to say is actually called propaganda. On Twitter, some have claimed that Zeiler and other TikTok influencers are being, quote, manipulated into spreading these messages. Speaking to Cheddar, Zeiler responded to the backlash. I watched the skit and it was funny. Then you turn it off and you're like, wait, but is this true? People are legitimately getting their media and information from social media. She also joked that they should have hired her to make it even more real. Yeah, because I mean, who cares if you're a government stooge? Like the white, that is, I mean, like literal, I don't know really any other way to describe it, but other than like literal propaganda. Like literal, like, hey, Daddy Biden told you to go say this. Now go to your TikTok followers and say this. Why? Were they paid money? I mean, if you want to advertise on my channel, White House, you got to pay just like anybody else. So I don't know. Were they paid? Probably some way, shape, or form, you know? Was their content whitelisted? White House drafts TikTok stars to blame Putin for rising gas prices. Like, what? What? This is actually insane. It's more scary than people think. Like, these idiots, these are like literal useful idiots. Too young to know any better. And like Biden's just like, hey, go tell your 10 million followers what we say exactly. And they did it. Don't listen to influencers, but you already knew that. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.